Next on In the Know, Maryland Governor Robert Ehrlich promotes his vision from the State House in Annapolis, Maryland. Maryland Governor Robert Ehrlich made history in 2002 when he was elected the first Republican governor for the state of Maryland in over 30 years. Can he do it again? Well, we join him from his Annapolis office to learn just that.
The answer is yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Well. Well, let's talk about, instead of saying why should people re-elect Bob Ehrlich, let's ask why not re-elect Bob Ehrlich?
Well, when an incumbent's on the ticket, it's the general rule. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? Look at the state of the economy, look at housing, look at unemployment, look at jobs created, state of education, whatever it happens to be. So in this case, you have, obviously after 4 years, you have a record.
Sure.
And people are generally going to vote on that record, which is what politics is all about.
Well, let's talk about what that record entails. What are the accomplishments that you are most proud of over the past 4 years?
Wow.
Lots to think about there.
You don't have any other questions for the show, I hope. I'll just hit maybe just a couple top line
Sure.
things. On the fiscal front, on the budget front, the dollar front, it's a turnaround, obviously, of the budget from $4 billion in deficit to $2.3 billion surplus over the last 3 years. That's a big deal.
Sure.
It's a $6.3 billion turnaround. Unemployment under 4, new jobs created, AAA bond rating, which is incredibly important, tripling the rainy day fund. So on the economic end, the commerce end, a lot of successes. On the environmental front, clearly the Chesapeake Bay Restoration Act, being able to get this passed to upgrade our sewage treatment plants around the state of Maryland. It's, in the words of the Bay Foundation, the most groundbreaking initiative in nearly 20 years. So that's a big deal and is leading to the turnaround concerning the Bay.
Other issues that are important to Marylanders, education. Talk about what you've done over the past 4 years to impact education positively.
Concerning K through 12 public education, a $1.4 billion influx into public education. We now have an $840 million public school construction program, the most aggressive in our history. Community colleges, that formula has been increased. Private colleges, our university system, all thriving. This has to do with a thriving economy and the demand in the marketplace from employers to government about what they need in the workplace today.
Let's talk about this election taking place, Governor Ehrlich. You made history in 2002, as I stated in the introduction, when you were elected the first Republican governor for the state in over 30 years. In a predominantly Democratic state, Democrats outnumber Republicans 2-1 in Maryland right now. Does that concern you at all?
It doesn't concern me because it's the reality of the situation, but today, unlike in past years, particularly unlike 20, 30 years ago in Maryland, your partisan identification does not necessarily predict how you're going to vote.
Okay.
And clearly, if that was not the case, I wouldn't be here.
Do you think your message appeals to Democrats in the state of
Well, my
Maryland?
message is not just a Republican message, nor an independent message, or a libertarian message, or a Democratic message. It cuts across every line that we draw, class and ethnicity and race and partisan lines and all that. You've seen the approval rating's been pretty high for 4 years. I think it's a pretty good barometer that what we've done has appealed to the great mass of people out there.
Last but certainly not least, Governor Ehrlich, as our voters are watching and trying to decide on who they're going to vote for on November 7th, what would you like for them to take with them to the polls? When they think Bob Ehrlich, what should they think?
Competency, enthusiasm, optimism, and honesty. Not necessarily in that order.
No specific
any
order.
particular order. But that's what you hope people understand. The state's very hot. The state's done very well. We've been very competent managers of the state and the economy and looking at people who are disadvantaged traditionally as well. I think by any measure, they'll see a successful administration.
Good luck to you.
Latoya, thank you so much.
After November 7th.
You will.
With a big
guarantee
victory.
I promise.
Victory parties?
You got it.
Are we invited?
You're invited.
Say no more. We're there.
So is the crew, although we may have a separate room for that.
And we're coming as a team.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so
My
much
pleasure.
again. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll talk more here on In the Know. Stay with us.